All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Passive Cash Flow Podcast. This is episode 8, and here we have Magnum.
Hello.
Mr. Rocha. All right. So Magnum's one of the younger investors. He's pretty established here. I'd like to bring on people that are getting started because, they can really relate with other people who are getting started. So Magnum, just talk a little bit about where you're from and what you do.
Sure. So, I'm actually from Union County, and I kind of grew up in Middlesex County, Perth Amboy, and then I moved over to Union, where I reside now. And I am right now a serial entrepreneur, but by trade I am an IT. I'm starting to build businesses on the side and actually start investing in real estate and investing with Capital Group.
All right, very cool. Yeah, we've been working with Magnum for a couple of years here. I think we met at like a RIA, right, a real estate networking event. Did you come to one of my networking events? Is that how we?
Yeah, met? I think I did. I did come to one of your events. I think you were doing an event about how to leverage your 401k and actually invest in properties.
Sure. Was that in Morristown or was that here?
Was actually, I think, here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
At the headquarters.
Oh, look at that. The headquarters, PCG headquarters. Yeah, we got guns out around here. Well-protected place. No, it's very, very cool. All right, so, what was, it was like a moment that, or like a book you read that kind of turned you on to real estate at all? Or how did you find like that was one of your passions?
I think everybody is turned on by the purple book out there, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Purple book. Mm-hmm. Cool.
And, I think I call it a purple moment.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting.
So, I kind of read that book and I listened, to podcasts and, bigger pockets, of course.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And you start realizing, how much there is out there. And when you start having a paradigm shift of the things that you start realizing, and seeing, then you open up your mind for multiple areas and opportunities.
Yeah. No, it's true. That's the purple book also is the way I went. And, I didn't even know that. I feel like, every probably like every third episode I bring up that book. I feel like I should start getting, part of this.
you should get some money.
I should get something. I'm going to call Rich Dad Poor Dad. Be like, listen, buddy, I've been promoting your book for years because he's such a part of my story, and people I interview, it's so commonly a book that's brought up,
Yeah.
I remember I made a PowerPoint presentation one time, like how I got started, and one of the first slides was just like that book and his face and like a quote, and the feedback from people when I was like, should I, when I was showing it to in the office to before I presented it, was like, you're promoting the book too much. It looks like you're actually trying to sell Rich Dad Poor Dad books, So I had to change the PowerPoint to make it less focused on Rich Dad Poor Dad, but that is like such a part of my story that that was what the PowerPoint was about. And I was like, I actually have to make it more focused on what I'm doing. But so yeah, it's such a good story. Cool. All right, so 401k, and so you self-directed your 401k, into your IRA, and then you self-direct your IRA, right?
Yeah, and then as you kind of explained to us all this, and you self-direct it, and pretty much you have to have a custodian in place, and from the custodian you can actually have your own LLC, and from there you can invest in multiple avenues, in which I did. Right now we're working on an apartment building, and it's gonna go fine. We're looking to force appreciation, and then probably in 3 to 4 years we're gonna refi and get the lump sum.
Yeah, exactly. So what Magnum's talking about is the refi cash out. We're gonna he has an investment with us. We're moving into a property. We're buying an 11 unit right now, and we're gonna buy this building. We're gonna reposition it. About half the tenants are paying way below market rent, and the units need updating. So we're gonna work out a repositioning of those units and move the building into a very profitable scenario there. So it's great. There's a lot of upside on the building. There's a lot of room to get the income up. So I'm looking forward to the investment, and just trying to get the deal closed right now. It's tough. It's tough getting cooperation with the seller and all the parties. It's the thing about private real estate transactions, sometimes when you're doing, we found this seller, the investment that Magnum and I are doing right now together, to shed some light on it, talk about this deal here. We found the seller through direct mail marketing, which is a great way to find discounted properties. The building appraised at 1.1. We're buying it for the mid 9s, so it's really a great investment. We're making about 150 grand in equity off the bat. And then but the seller, dealing with sellers that are not working with brokers is difficult because there's no middle person, there's no broker pushing the deal along, who's not going to get paid unless the deal closes, who's going to make sure the deal like the glue of the deal. A good broker really is so important in a deal. I have to say, shout out to brokers and realtors for a second, because I do on some of these transactions, because we're talking about this private deal we're doing, this 11 unit, and then I'm talking about a 25 unit also that we're buying right now. The last video I did, or 2 videos ago, was about 3 buildings we're buying. So I think one of them was the 11 unit, right? So the other building is the 25 unit. Now that building is being bought through brokers, okay? A broker. So at the end of the day, it's easier to work with a transaction, to complete a transaction, generally when there's a broker involved than when there is not, okay? Right. So, some people might think contrary, but no, I think always when there is a broker involved, a transaction is more likely to close. It's more likely to be less of a pain in the neck. And at the end of the day, I do like working with good commercial, brokers, experienced brokers. Is very important. But this deal we're buying off market. Seth is crushing it with the seller. We are trying to wrap things up, on it, and looking forward to closing. So at the end of the day, you self-directed your IRA, and before that, you really had it in stocks, right? You were working with the stock market. What do you think are some takeaways you had from investing, passively?
Sure, I think for everyone, it's a good experience. I mean, it's all about mindset and getting your foot wet, out there, because it was kind of underperforming, right? And when I lost my job, I had the money there, and I didn't know what to do with the money, And so I was like, what? I can self-direct it to an ROA, or leave it there on the market, or I can try, experience something new on the investment side. So I was like, why not real estate? So that's one of the things that I learned. And not only that, the value add that we can gain from it, for you to kind of coach me and teach me certain things, and the network that we're building together, it's unbelievable, because this way we can actually learn from one another.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really value with my job, is when I don't just send my investors a check, but also lots of knowledge. The updates, I try to give you a lot of details there, so you really know what's going on, and you feel comfortable with the investment and the progress in the investment. So yeah, I mean that's nice to hear that, that you enjoy learning about the process of repositioning apartment buildings, and making taking buildings that are mismanaged with pissed off tenants, or maybe buildings that are just dangerous to live in, and making them safer, nicer environments. Is something that I think we can feel proud of, and it's nice to see that change. In cities that you live by, it's kind of more fun than being in a stock or something you can't see the change in. So. With your IRA at a young age too, you're by the time you can actually pull from your IRA without getting taxed, that's going to be a really nice investment. You're going to be in a good spot. Something. I mean, you're a young guy. I could see us actually. So let's say we buy this 11 unit, right? We reposition it. We get the rents up. The property's making a lot more money now. 4 to 5 years later, we do a refinance. We split up a big lump sum of cash. Right. And then 4 to 5 years after that, we refinance again. We execute level 2 of the reposition, and we get to do a cash out refinance again. And then 15 years down the road, we could sell the building. I obviously we'll see where the market is. We'll make a judgment call at that time. But eventually, between 15-year mark or so, around there, we're going to look at selling the building and doing a 1031 tax deference, right? And then we're going to trade into a bigger building. Let's say we identify a 50 unit or something, okay, whatever, maybe not that big, but something much bigger, and we trade into a similar building that's bigger. And now we're getting twice the cash flow, and again we reposition the building, we force the value up on the building by getting better net cash flow, and rinse and repeat. We basically do that, and we could trade. I mean, listen, if you're you're a young man, you're right around your young 30s, right? Yeah. Look at that. So I mean, you can pull.
You look young too.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend. Me and you both. We're gonna grow together.
That's
I mean,
it, yeah.
You think of that 30 years down the road. Who knows, right? I mean, you could be take your investment in, 10 times or whatever. Who knows what it'll be.
The purpose is 10x at everything.
Yeah, 10x. 10x, baby. Yeah. What's that, Grant Cardone's hat or something stupid? Stupid. Is he selling hats or what? Is he selling investments? Come on.
I know.
Nah, he's all right. He's all right. He's inspiring, Grant Cardone, right? Yeah. I guess we all want to be like
Uncle G.
Uncle G. We should get 10x hacks. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool, man.
Yeah, totally. But listen, I want to turn the table around now, and I want to ask, what's next for People's Capital Group in 2020?
Well, we're reading the market right now. The flipping business is getting tighter. The profits are getting squeezed. We're in a seller's market phase 2 right now in North Jersey. Okay, so we had a good run. We made hay while the sun shined. We did very well as the market went from a buyer's to a seller's phase. We flipped lots of houses. We wholesaled lots of houses. We were a resource to investors to buy property and at cheap prices, and also to end users to buy renovated homes. But now we are reading the writing on the wall, and we're seeing how hard it is to get a good fix and flip or a good wholesale deal, and the profits are a fraction of what they were back then. So we're transitioning into commercial buildings, apartment buildings right now. We feel they are... there's a lot of activity in the apartment building space. A lot of people are talking about them. A lot of people are doing syndications. We recognize that that's not necessarily a good thing, but it's not necessarily a bad thing either. Okay,
right.
That means it is a good space to be in. Obviously, other people recognize that. Fine, you're going to have competition, but we have a nice little niche carved out here where we manage everything in house and we control the buildings. So at the end of the day, there's not that much bandwidth. We're not hiring out-of-state management companies. We're not really taking too much risk with construction right now or ground up development. So we're trying to really stay within what we're really good at here, which is buying mismanaged apartment buildings and managing them better, and then repositioning them and refinancing. So, if you're good at something, stick to it. We have the resources, we have the infrastructure to take on more buildings, and we're taking on about 34 units in the next 90 days, hopefully. And we are also looking at taking on another 76 units. We're meeting with family offices and discussing that. So there's a lot of activity here at PCG. We want to get to 65 million over 5 years. I think we can do it. We might even far surpass that. Who knows what the future holds? Right now investors are reacting nicely to our service. I have to say, you've been working with me for a number of years, and I think when we first met, I was still building, and I'm always building, of course, but I was really getting the blocks in place to develop a good investment company.
Right. And
I was, kind of taking my hits in the flipping business, and I was, you have your wins and your losses there. And then, so, as the market develops here, I think the apartment building space is huge. I mean, we look at the inner city areas like Newark and Patterson. Really, we've done amazing in those areas for years, and we still see opportunity there. You just got to know where to look, know who to talk to. And, everyone's always going to need a place to stay in mid-level housing, right? Yeah. Mid-level apartments, my friend. That's it,
Yeah, I totally agree.
Not the fancy stuff, not the cheapest stuff. Middle of the road, affordable apartments, 2 bedrooms near a train station that gets into Manhattan. That's where I'm putting my cards right now.
I love it.
That's where we're putting our cards. Yeah.
That's a great vision for PCG for 2020.
That's it. And I see a lot of growth. America's doing good right now. I'm very
totally.
As a small business owner, I'm like optimistic. I'm feeling good.
Nah, it's really good. I mean, the economy is booming. I think unemployment rate is the lowest within the 50 years. I think I saw that.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I was stunned. So there's investments out there. There's a lot of opportunities out there for you guys, and it's just all about getting the mindset right and going out there and making it happen.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's a good plan. It's a good plan. I like the space too. I've always had a passion for it. I'm glad you do as well. It's fun to see other people that share the passion. There's a lot of people out there that are doing it. All right, so Mr. Magnum, any words of wisdom or things you'd like to promote to the people here on the PCG Passive Income Passive Cash Flow podcast?
I mean, just be persistent, and follow your dreams, because that's all it's all about, and that's what I'm going for. That's what this man is going for, and he believes in me. I believe in him.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, and let's make this happen.
Absolutely. All right, very good. All right, thanks a lot for listening, everyone. Go to peoplescapitalgroup.com, learn more about how you can get qualified to invest in one of our upcoming buildings. And if you have any questions about how we do this, how we work with buildings, and, get into more depth. Today we're just talking about, well, I don't even know what we were talking about today. Tons of different stuff. But, go to peoplescapitalgroup.com. We got tons of information there. We just updated the site. We have our podcast there, other episodes, of course. And, again, that's peoplescapitalgroup.com. Have a good day.